Hello and welcome. Thank you for sharing your presence with me today. We're really just going to be going over what has truly been moments of clarity for me when it comes to the dark night of the soul or any sort of rebirth and transformation and purification process within our journey. This is a process that literally happens so much more often than we believe. It does become easier, and we are meant to have multiple awakenings within our spiritual journey. And today I just want to talk about a few things that are really important to remember if you're kind of in this phase. I am currently going through another transformative time, and I felt called to do this during one of my awakenings because I'm seeing how things could and probably will turn out within my journey to see the lessons before they fully integrate. And oftentimes, once we've had a few awakenings within our time, we've had a few dark night of the souls or transformations and purifications within our lives, we're able to kind of see these lessons as they play out or after they have played out, right? We're able to understand them, but then it becomes a time where we need to truly begin to integrate them within our being and begin to embody them and practice that, honor that every day by taking action so that we can truly see that reflected back in our life, and it just becomes second nature. This rebirth, this new person that we become, right? This energy, this soul that we are truly just merging with, right? We are really merging with our own source within, which means we are truly merging with God. We are merging with the universe here, okay? So these are moments of pure beauty and ecstasy, and it's not going to feel like that. I'm sure if you're in a time where you're experiencing your dark night of the soul, which I don't know if that term really resonates with me. I like to call it a rebirth, a transformation, or a purification, just because dark night of the soul just sounds daunting to me. It is kind of true that we are going through the deep end, right? But I don't want us to see the deep end as this dark place. Yes, sure, in a sense it's dark down there, in the depths of the ocean, but this is where we truly begin to merge with source. This is where we begin to find our grounding, our foundation, and that's what this period does for us. It's a period where we are literally digging up, right, and going deeper to see what this foundation looks like, to actually be able to become this version of ourselves that is truer and more authentic, right? And this means that parts and people, situations, jobs, things within our lives are begin to fall away, and those things actually do provide us lessons. Sometimes it's just because we are changing, right? Especially at the beginning of your journey, and you're changing, and you have to honor that other people won't be there for the transformation, or that they will, just not in the extent that you may be wanting them there, right? So just keep that in mind, and remember, this is a personal journey. That doesn't mean that everyone else has to be involved in this rebirth and this transformation. You got to honor other people and where they're at in their lives, okay? And that is honoring yourself as well. But remembering, if you really do need that support, which for me personally, it helps so much to be able to have that support, this community support, friends, family, just to be able to be with them, right? To have that sense of home around others, or just that sense of community and deep support and just love and just moments of play. It's important to be able to have a few people that you can connect with and talk to so that you don't find yourself spiraling down the rabbit hole of your mind, because during these phases in our lives, as we're rebirthing and shifting, we are going to find ourselves begin to overthink and just go down these stories, right? Our mind's going to create so many stories, and fear is going to arise so much deeper during this time. And it's a great reminder to believe and remember that you are here for a reason, that you are experiencing this for a reason, that this fear isn't being experienced because you can't handle it. It's because you completely can handle it. So when that fear arises, when you find yourself pulling into different directions, right? You're feeling completely uncertain, even just a little lost, maybe even just sad because things are falling away and you're unsure how the future is going to look. The unknown is the only thing in front of you. The great mystery, the universe, is the only thing in front of you. And it's up to you whether or not you would like to take those steps forward without knowing, without controlling how the process of your life is going to work. And this is huge, okay? This is huge. We are literally being asked to jump into the arms of God. We are being asked to jump into the depths of the great mystery of the universe. And having that support where we can just go and be outside with a friend, where we can just talk to a parent or a guardian, where we can just talk to anyone, or if we could just even gather in virtual circles, or even a yoga class, or just somewhere where we can be around people that make us feel safe, that make us feel, more like ourselves. That's going to be super key, and feeling that support so that you don't kind of fall down the rabbit hole there, okay? And that's personally what has truly helped me. Now, this whole process, and why I like to also call it a purification, is because we're feeling all of the waves of our emotions, right? There are a multitude of emotions that are rising during this time when we're rebirthing. We're feeling sadness and anger. We may be feeling a little bit of jealousy, like, why is this happening? We may feel like the victim sometimes. Sometimes we may feel like the hero. Our ego is going to go in like all these different directions, right? It's important to open up and widen your perspective so that you don't fall into the traps of the ego. You don't fall into, oh, these emotions are me. These thoughts are me. Your thoughts are not you. They are literally programmed at an early stage in your life. They are old parts of you. And if you are going through this transition, it's important to remember that that's not you. That's not you, right? It's important to remember that you are shifting this part of you. So as you begin to apply pressure to those parts of you that are no longer serving you, to beliefs, to stories, to aspects of your personality or your ego, the things that you're doing to people, right? As you begin to apply pressure, they're going to try and fight back. So you may feel like things are spiking, right? Your emotions are spiking and more intense. You're feeling a lot more triggers. All of these beliefs are coming up. Just shadows are arising during this time. And it's important to allow the tears to flow, allow yourself to feel what is happening within your body, but in turn not to believe that that is what you're always going to be. It's important to realize that you are shifting at a cellular level, that you are transforming at a cellular level at the rate of the universe, right? This divine timing. That is what is occurring here. And as soon as we forget that, and just like allow ourselves to just kind of fall into the depths of darkness that we may feel we are in, that's when we have a moment and an opportunity to choose. Because I will find myself there, right? During these phases, even during the phase that I'm in right now, I'll find myself just kind of dropping in. But it's important to have that knowing that you are not alone. And in those moments where I just let myself kind of fall into the dark, I fall into the depths, right? I just release completely, and all of those emotions and everything that just is so humbling, you guys, because during these phases we're going to find some very humbling things. We're going to find parts of ourselves, these limiting beliefs, these fears that are, limiting us from creating a beautiful relationship with Source itself, a beautiful relationship with the universe, to allow these manifestations and all that we desire to be in our lives, to allow us to be truth, to be unconditional love, to truly emanate and embody all that we truly are authentically as eternal beings, all that we truly are. So these opportunities to just be in the dark allows us space to open up, right? It allows us space to open up our perspective, to see that I can completely feel what is here so that I do not need to hold on to it any longer. A lot of the times when we're going through a dark night of the soul or an awakening, we really want to grasp onto these older parts of us, this normal, right, within our lives. We want to hold on, we want to grasp, and I find myself doing that every single time I go through these situations. I'm like, but this is like the one thing that like I really don't want to lose, because I feel like this is my constant in life. This is my constant. And the thing is that anything outside of you is not your constant. Anything outside of you is not your constant. They are reflections of you. People, jobs, situations, these are just mirrors here to give you love and to teach you lessons. So as soon as we can begin to, I'm gonna let this go without knowing what's gonna happen next. That's this process here. We are being asked to release, to let go of our grasp on what has been, to not focus on these past situations, these past hurts and traumas, right? We are not called to focus on them. We're being called to completely be here and trust and have faith in the fog that is in front of us, because we're unable to see that. And it's, a lot of the time we're like, well, we're eternal beings of light and love. Like, why can't we just know what's going on? Why can't we just be able to see? Why can't we be able to just manifest in that way where we know and we have that control? But the truth of the matter is that Source does not flow within control. Source does not flow within control. Source is free flowing, and it requires you to have faith. And this relationship requires trust. Trust is not control. You can't trust someone and then also try to control and manipulate how, they're going to react to you, or what they're going to say to you, or how they're going to make you feel. That's you giving your power away. As soon as you begin to try and control and grasp things, you're giving your power away to these external forces, these people, these situations and jobs and feelings and thoughts and beliefs and traumas. You're giving your power away to them by holding on to them, and by allowing them to break you in a sense, right? Allowing them to just like shatter you, because that's what it can feel like when we start seeing things falling away before us. But if we see these things falling away and we're still grasping, like, how heartbreaking is that to see just your life falling away, just certain parts of you falling away, and you're still trying to hold on, but they're meant to fall away, and we're all looking back, right? But what's right here? As soon as we let go, we have another hand. We have another hand. We have more space. Overall, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, and that's kind of the point, because I just want to really share some things that have helped me in realizing that we can't control these moments. And it's the hardest thing to come by when we completely humble ourselves to see that, okay, wow, yeah, I have been terrified of not being able to control what happens next. I've been terrified of not having a constant outside of myself, of not having a security blanket. But these awakenings, these processes of rebirth and transformation and purification at this cellular level is asking us to remember who we are. These are massive points in our life to remember who we are. These are moments that are necessary for us to remember that you are your home, that you are your security, that you are not the only one creating in this life, that you are not alone in the creation of your life. That source, the universe, God is here creating with you. And if we continue to try and control, the universe sees that as we are not ready. We are not ready for those blessings and those manifestations because we don't trust. We don't trust that source is going to be our best friend there, right? That has source or God, the universe, doesn't have us in mind. But that's not true. That's not true. Just think about it. Close your eyes and really meditate as often as you like, as often as you can. Meditation is such a key when going through these points in your life. As soon as things kind of arise and you start realizing things, journal. I have a whole notebook. I took like even a couple days to just write down these very humbling facts about myself to see, okay, where am I limiting myself? Where am I holding on? And realizing that like I accept and take responsibility that I have been doing this. Instead of blaming forces outside of you, instead of giving your power away to forces outside of you, we are literally being asked once again to come back to center. To truly come back to center. Make it a point to meditate, you guys. Close your eyes. Breathe, become one. Really see what's going on. Ask your spirit guides, ask your angels for assistance. Know that this process is not about like just going to a bunch of healers and allowing them to like clear up your energy. It may be nice to kind of get some energy clearing, get some guidance from some tarot or the Akashic records. It's wonderful to be able to do that, but when we're constantly trying to seek, and this is something to realize, if you find yourself really just grasping for support everywhere, you're not owning up to what's actually going on here. And the whole point of this process is to be able to wake up to yourself and have your own epiphanies. No one is going to give you this transformation. No one is going to heal you during this purification. It's going to be you and source. This is the relationship here. We're taking everything away and it's just you and source. That is what's going on here. This is the marrying that is happening and is being asked of us during these times of rebirth. We are stripping away and allowing source to fill in the spaces as we move through the rest of our lives. So it's a moment of pause. It's a moment of rest so that you may rise once again, okay? So really, really take your time here. Do not force yourself to plan so far ahead of time. Do not force yourself to do any work if you don't feel like doing it. Don't force yourself to do anything at all. Be in bed, meditate, breathe, do some practices, watch some things that make you feel good, be with where your emotions are at, journal. Take that time for yourself. During this transition, you are allowed to pause, and this gives you really a one-up on everyone else when you allow yourself to rest and pause for a little while, to take things really slow. You're allowed to take things really slow. And if we try to rush this process, that just means we're trying to control the process. We're not being patient and flexible. We're not co-creating with source here when we're trying to rush it. And this is all something that I find myself doing, is trying to rush these processes because I get so excited for everything that I want to create for you guys. I get so excited. I'm like, I have all these things to do. Like, yeah. I try to really rush the process, but that's not the point. The point is to be able to pause and slow down, to feel all that's coming up. It's not all just going to come up at once and be over in a week. The process is longer than that, you guys. Trust me. It's meant to be this transition of transformation. It's happening at a cellular level. The energy may be there before you start feeling it and witnessing it within your physical life. keep that in mind. We're not immediately going to see these shifts happen within our lives. It's going to be happening at a very energetic and spiritual level first. And we need to allow it that time and that love, that self-love and self-care, to allow it to really infuse within our own beings, our own bodies. So this is a beautiful time for you to take care of yourself, to take care of your vessel, right? To take care of your temple, to really work on your relationship with Source, to really see where you may be controlling or trying to rush or not really trusting and having faith in Source, where you may be trying to do everything on your own, thinking that you have this, like, you know, especially if this is your second, third, fourth, whatever, dark night of the soul or awakening or rebirth or purification, transformation, right? If this has been multiple times in the making, right? And now you're here, really reevaluate what's going on. Really begin journaling and asking yourself those questions. A lot of the time, once we've had like our first awakening, we get into things, maybe we start offering services to other people, or we just start living our lives in this way, and it will have those periods where it feels like, oh, I'm like just riding the waves. It's awesome. It's wonderful. It's flowing. And then we're just hit. And it's like, here, we're ready. We're ready for another lesson. This lesson was destined for you. This lesson was destined for you. So don't feel like there's anything wrong, because there is nothing wrong. You are perfectly where you are meant to be during this time. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with how you're living your life. It's time to learn a new lesson and to really deepen this connection. So it's more so not seeing it as like this dark night of the soul, really, like, but more seeing it as an opportunity, being grateful for the opportunity to deepen your connection with Source. The fact that, like, oh my God, like, my soul, it wants this, it desires this, it's time. It's time. And it's going to be emotional. And it's going to feel tough, but within these moments, right, within this time, within your journey, these are the times where it's so important to really dedicate yourself to being, to truly being present with all of your feelings, to let yourself cry whenever you feel like you need to cry, to let yourself journal and meditate whenever you need to. If you feel like an inkling, like, I need to go outside and stare at the sky, I need to go do this, I need to go meditate. If you just have that like really quiet kind of, you know, intuitive thought, or just this pull, this instinct to go do something, to go smell a flower, to go watch a video, to go sit in front of the mirror and stare at yourself, or to just lay on the floor flat, right? Or to walk outside barefoot. If you have those inklings to do that, do it. Okay, don't stop yourself because maybe you're with someone or someone's gonna think you're crazy. This is the point. This is to put pressure on your comfort zone to expand, and your comfort zone in itself, okay, to open yourself up even more. So if you can allow yourself to do those things that you otherwise wouldn't do, right? Something that you haven't done before. Allow yourself to explore these different aspects of you. If you have the thought or the instinct to do something, it's there for a reason. This is a part of what your soul desires. This is a part of what your soul needs right now. This is your medicine speaking to you in that moment. So open yourself up, observe. And that's why meditation is so important, because it can help us begin to widen our lens and utilize this higher consciousness, right? To see what's really going on. And once we can see that, we can start journaling and figuring things out and let the mind know that, like, we're okay, we can relax. I gotta take the wheel here and let you know, like, we're gonna do this every single day until it clicks, until it becomes clear that this is no longer me, that I am trusting, right? It's going to take time. It's not just an overnight process for you. Unfortunately, as much as we would love that to be happening, I mean, we all would, but this is a lesson. and we're meant to learn it. And lessons don't just happen at like, oh, I understand it now. Like, no, it needs to be understood within our entire being, to where we just become this trust and this faith. We become in co-creation with Source itself. And it's so important to remember, you are co-creating with Source. So if you are leaving Source out of all of your decisions, right? You're not allowing the divine plan and the divine will to work. You're not allowing the unknown to be there. You're not allowing this great mystery that really all of this is to do its work. Your soul is a part of that. Why wouldn't we have faith in that? It's because we fear it. We truly do fear it. So face this fear with compassion and with love and kindness, knowing where this comes from. Let yourself cry about it and be like, oh yeah, I'm like terrified. I'm so terrified of what's actually gonna happen. Be honest. Be so honest with yourself and begin to connect the dots of how you go about this now. Asking like, how can I open this up? How can I release this fear? How can I face this fear? How can I put pressure on this fear? What can you do to put pressure on it? Maybe that is just listening to your intuition, doing those little things that you normally wouldn't do. Go practicing floating in the ocean, in the pool, or in some water. Practice being somewhere where you may be a little uncomfortable, right? And ask Source to be there for you, reasonably. Like little things, you guys. Like, if you want to go do something crazy, whatever. Like, I'm not telling you to do anything like that. But it does help. It does help to be able to just, this is how I react. This is how I can truly be authentic. These are moments and lessons for us to remember who we are. And that is no joke, you guys. It's no joke. This is an opportunity to deepen your relationship with Source and yourself, remembering that it is one. You are one. You are completely one. This is you and Source, and it's ready. It's ready for you to remember that. This connection so much deeper, and letting the ego know like, hey, we thought we knew everything. We thought we were doing really well. Everything was going to be fine. Like, I have everything planned. I have all these manifestations, and then boom, new plan. And after these moments, like, it's going to show you that I do need to leave some room for the divine plan and the mystery to occur, to work its magic, allowing ourselves to actually open up to miracles. That is what we're opening up to during this time. We are opening ourselves up to actually experience them and be a part of them, because it's natural for us. It's us returning to this natural state of being. And it's unlike anything that our minds can understand. Okay, as human beings within our societies today, like, it's crazy. It's literally ludicrous. It's crazy. It's not normal. So don't expect yourself to it to be an easy process. Take those little things that you can do each day to help you remember and learn and rest and slow down and be, and not plan so far ahead. Open yourself up. Take deep breaths. Be where you are. Let yourself be where you are. We're no longer living for that higher self person that is here in like 5-10 years, right? We're no longer waiting for that. And we're no longer looking back in our past at that person that experienced all of these things that we're still feeling right now. We're not that person. We're not going to put our focus on that. We're going to put our focus on, okay, I'm going to allow myself to be where I'm at right now. I'm not going to focus on the past, focus on this picture, that I wanted so bad. I'm not going to focus on that picture that I wanted so bad, or this past self. I'm going to focus on what is real for me right now. What do I have to work with right now? What am I learning right now? What's best case scenario for me right now? Little things in these moments. It's the baby steps. It's literally the baby steps. One day at a time. one day at a time, and realizing that like it's okay. It's okay not to have it all figured out. It's okay that your plans may have been completely shattered. It's okay. They may be a little postponed, but this is purposed. This is divinely purposed. This was meant for you. Your soul chose this lesson, okay? This lesson is meant for your soul, and coming out of it, you're not even going to realize it. You're not even going to realize it. That's how gradual and beautiful this transition is that you are embarking on. It's going to just click, and then it's going to be in your body, right? But it doesn't get there without you choosing every single day to be present with what is real here, to actually work on this yourself, right? To actually do that shadow work and that inner child healing, whatever it is that's coming up, that's calling you to be present with it. As soon as we can bring everything here in the present and actually work with it, right? With our compassion and with our love to heal it, to transmute it, to create space, we truly do ripple out momentum for our true authentic self, for our true flame within, this spark within us. So there's no way that nothing can truly align with us, because we bring it here in the present, whether it's past or not. Whatever is here, we bring it here and heal it, transmute it, turn it into something else, right? We are the alchemist here in these moments when we're feeling things from our past, when we're re-experiencing patterns within our lives. When we choose something different and actually are present with things, they heal our past. They truly transform us into this new being. Our subconscious begins to notice. Our mind, our ego, our shadows and our inner child, they're listening and seeing. Our bodies begin to react differently to those moments, those patterns that we would have. That's rebirthing. Like, you're literally changing how you react and respond. When you start to look at your triggers and say, whoa, there's some work I need to do. But one thing at a time, one day at a time, one interaction at a time. Be where you are right now and work with what you have. And remember that this is what you have right now, is source and you. Okay? Source and you, just like this. This is what is meant to be. This is what is meant to be. You're remembering this. You're remembering this. We're going to be remembering this many different times within our lives, just at a deeper level. So just take a moment and give gratitude if you are in this phase in your life. Give gratitude for it. Thank you. I'm ready. Obviously. You're obviously ready because you're here and it's happening. It's happening. Things are falling apart around you. Maybe you feel like you're falling apart. Things are fading. Maybe you feel like you're fading, and this is like a wake-up call. Awakening. You're waking up. It's a wake-up call. It's a lesson. It's not a bad thing. You didn't do anything wrong. You're literally meant to go through this. And you're meant to come out of it a miracle. This natural state. This natural form of magic that you are. And deepening that connection, you'll have all of this wisdom and this medicine to share. This meeting of you and source requires you to dive deeper. It requires you to love yourself so much deeper. It's a maturing of this love. It's a maturing of this relationship and connection. It's this realization that you are whole and that you yourself give yourself that wholeness. That you yourself give yourself that opportunity to open up. And I just saw 555 on my camera. To actually give and receive fully, because you know that you deserve it. Because you know who you are. Because you know that you are meant to experience this life fully, sensationally, in all aspects here in the present. It's a complete shift in consciousness. You're leveling up. if you like to think of it that way. And all is meant to align as it will. And eventually I'm going to do a video completely on the unknown and the great mystery. And I know that'll come a little bit later. Because me, myself right now, like I'm in it. I'm in it, and it feels cyclical almost. Week by week, you're going through phases. But remember, you can't control and try to know everything that's going to happen next, or how you're supposed to get there, or what you're supposed to do. The mind wants to figure it out. The mind cannot predict this future. And we don't want it to. We're teaching the mind that we don't need to predict anymore. We don't need to be held by this limit in this box. We are not limited to that. We are eternal. We're limitless. We're unlimited beings, experiencing unlimited magic, co-creating this unlimited potential with Source. So no longer do we hold ourselves back by believing that we have to predict and plan all the time. And this is just in this sense for these phases, okay? Like, we're not really planning that much within these phases. It's literally a pause, and it's meant to be, and it's perfect, okay? You're allowed to be there. You're allowed to be there. Like, let this be your invitation. If you find yourself here, that yes, please rest. Please rest. Slow down. Know that it is purpose. Let people know around you that, like, hey, I just need some time. I'm resting. Like, I'm relearning. I'm reloving myself. Let yourself be there. Let yourself be there. One thing that I found really fascinating was how, we like to use butterflies, caterpillars, the butterfly transformation as this rebirth, right? Because it is a cellular change, like you're literally changing forms. But when they're a caterpillar, it's almost like this self-sacrifice. Like the caterpillar itself inside the cocoon actually begins dissolving. Like, how crazy is that? Like, you itself in this place, you're dissolving. You're self-sacrificing these parts of you. You're letting things go willingly. Okay, in the face and co-creation of Source itself, life force. So that you may come out with your wings and be able to soar so much higher and become so much more vibrant, so much lighter and so much more peaceful, right? So you could see it as that, like, that's the power of this transformation, this rebirth, this dark night of the soul, this awakening process, this purification. Okay, really take care of your body, drink a lot of water. We can tend to kind of neglect certain things, especially when we're feeling a lot emotionally, or when we are having specific thoughts that can really affect us emotionally, and then the emotional body will affect the physical body. And this is real. Like, your emotional body is the closest thing to your physical body. So really allow yourself to be with the waves, okay? To float along those waves and not to try and go against the waves. Because as soon as you go against the wave, Source is like, really? Like, this is gonna be really hard then. You're struggling. And you don't have to. These waves, you're meant to ride these waves. You are meant to ride these waves. So open yourself up to deeper faith, this deeper connection. I feel like on a collective level, a lot of people are going through this, and we will continue to go through these different times within our lives, but it's our choice on how we see them. And as soon as you're out of it, you're gonna be like so wise. You're gonna be loving life. You're just gonna be a magnet for soulmate situations and people, just everything, because you allowed yourself to really begin dancing with the Source instead of avoiding them and trying to dance with your mind. So yes, overall, hopefully this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments down below how you are feeling. I just want to send you all the love in the world and all the encouragement in the world. Share what you are choosing, okay? How you are resting. What's going on for you? How are you shifting your perspective here? Open yourself up to that, okay? And allow us to support each other here. So if you truly feel called to comment, please do. Know that you are not alone. Like your guides and your angels, when you're there just not wanting to get out of bed, when you're feeling emotional turmoil, when you're trying to overthink and everything like that, your spirit guides and your angels are there. They're just there. So feel them. Ask them for their assistance, okay? And don't try to look for something so tangible. You're working with magic here. You are literally working with magic here. So meditate, journal, write affirmations down, go be with nature, look outside, be around people that make you feel like you can be yourself, right? That can support you, that can help you really get into this energy of play, right? And joy, okay? It doesn't mean that you have to be in this energy that feels less than, or it's just like, because healing itself is like, it can be really intense sometimes. So allow yourself those moments of celebration, and don't do it as a way to distract yourself necessarily. We're not trying to distract ourselves from the moment. We're literally meant to be in the moment. Okay, so if your moment is more joyful, celebrate. If your moment is more intense, celebrate it. Be there with it. You are honoring by taking action every single day, the littlest things. And if that means taking a longer nap, do it and have fun. All right, sending you so much love on this journey. Wow, 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 wow. I honor you. This is a beautiful initiation for your soul, for your human self here. Like, we are ready for this magic, and we're not going to control how long this is going to be, okay? I am patient. Repeat this. I am patient and flexible. I am patient and flexible, and I co-create with the universe. Much love. Namaste. Deep breaths.